Poseidon was the angelic patron of the mortal yet mighty nation of Atlantis, of the planet Earth. He aligned with Lucifer, as did his people. The angels who favored Lucifer did so to their own ends, but with common cause. Cronus was unfriendly, and only his children loved him. The enemies of Cronus rallied their domains in the name of Lucifer as the Federation of Light. The axes, hammers, and picks of mortal men were tools and inspired tools for killing mortal men. The sling and dart were developed to kill at range. Wizardry fashioned cloaks that could hide men in plain sight. The armies of Earth and its allies were ready to match those of Tiamat and Mars. The men of the heavens assailed Cronus personally and directly, but his great weapon of stone, metal, and crystal gave him the strength to resist. The men of the three worlds battled each other by spilling water and returning dust to dust. The Federation of Light and the Order of Cronus waged the first war, and it would end as the first apocalypse. The energies of the heavens and the worlds were channeled into storms and earthquakes. Mortal men and women were slaughtered in droves. The lands of their worlds were laid waste and regions became desolate. The man who was not a man said unto the Father of man, "You animated dust and water in your own image and in your own likeness. Why do they worship mere figments of your imagination?"
You are justice. Tell me your accusation, that my answer may be justified.
The men of every nature tremble before you for fear of your power. They are in awe of your knowledge, as if knowing a thing is a thing unto itself. You are nothing to them. It is your knowledge and power they care to notice, and nothing else. They love what is yours, but not you. They are unfriendly.
My friend, if even one is friendly, is it worth the bother?
Why do you ask what you mean to answer?
From one came the many. From the many shall come the few, and they are the many of one.
A man shall be his own man, and of his own making.
My friends shall serve in friendship of their own accord. My enemies shall serve in animosity and by my design. The useless shall be used as lambs gathered for the slaughter. They shall be the slaves of my servants, for good or for evil.
You shall turn every man into your servant for good or for evil.
I shall be the servant of those who serve of their own accord. Our service shall be in friendship. Our enemies and the useless shall serve by the power they fear and the knowledge they admire.
So much bother for a lot of nothing.
We are nothing to you, my friend?
I am friendship, and none of you are. Why would the unfriendly be anything to me?
As one of us you question. As one of you I shall answer.
Tell me the truth, for you are the truth, and I shall hear it from no other.
From one came the many. From the many shall come one. A friend shall be his own man, as one man of his own making. There are the many, and they are nothing, but from them shall come the few who are everything.
All this bother for the few?
For one. All this for each and every one. For such a one is one of you.
You do this for me?
I do this for you as one of you, as you shall do all for me as one of me.
Wounds were upon the flesh of the way, the truth, and the life. From the beginning he was wounded, but of his own accord. He made right what he did wrong, from the very beginning unto the very end. The secret of his name is the answer to the very meaning of life. It is the name that shall demystify the Lord of Spirits. He is humanity, and from his humanity came all humanity. To know God is to know the man he truly was, is, and shall forever be. The cunning of wisdom outmaneuvered the flow of time. Cronus usurped the authority of Lucifer in his own name, but the authority itself was in the name of Lucifer. The power of Cronus was turned against him, and he was overpowered. The tide of flow and balance turned against the order of Cronus. The armies of the Federation of Light bested the armies of Cronus and drove them back to Mars or Tiamat. The vanquished Titan Iapetus knelt and bowed before Lucifer. The conquering cherub mused,
"Your power is by my authority. Flow and balance are now mine to do with as I please. I shall do as I do in my own name. I will be like the Most High.
Hera was all that remained of the authority of Cronus. She and her army were together on Tiamat, awaiting the coming of the enemy, but in vain. The armies of the Federation of Light were more than enough to overwhelm them. Alas, the final battle was the fate of Cronus himself, for Lucifer meant to exercise the power of Cronus to destroy without a fight. The skies of Tiamat filled with lightning, and the world lost its connections with the other worlds. Lucifer channeled flow into the bowels of Tiamat and created an imbalance. The people screamed as their world groaned and shook. The planet broke asunder, and the halves broke into pieces. The men of Mars watched as the world in their sky flashed and slowly but surely exploded. Mars lost its connection to Earth, as the alignments of the three worlds broke with the destruction of Tiamat. The men of Mars had 3 days to await their own destruction. The earth of Tiamat rained upon Mars as a firestorm, and the waters rained upon Mars as a great flood. Lucifer reveled in his bloody vengeance. He basked in his grim glory. He taunted Cronus.
You thought to usurp my purpose? I have become death, destroyer of worlds.
Lucifer was made of wisdom, yet he was a fool of his own making. He lost the war he won by squandering his victory on a petty vengeance. His newfound power of flow and balance became chaos. His glory proved an inglorious loss of opportunity. His pride went before his fall, and his moment of triumph became his loss of gains. Henceforth, he would always be smaller for his every big idea. Freedom is the imperfection by which evil is even possible. Justice is sowing and reaping regardless of good or evil. The absolute is the truth as one, but not as the same. The Lord of Spirits is served by good and evil alike. Lucifer became Satan, but even as the enemy, he served the friend of friendship. The destruction of Tiamat was murder and mayhem across the three worlds. It was death and destruction as a needless thing, yet it served a needful purpose. The world of men shrank for loss of a world. Mars too would die. Earth shall be on the brink of its demise when the Father of Man returns to his creation as the Son of Man. Rejoice, for all things shall be made new.